Tell me a little bit about how you started your fashion career.
When I was 13, my mum had a costume design business, and I sort of helped a little bit with that, like, oh, that looks cool, that looks pretty. Helped choose fabrics and whatnot, and then I studied art at school and I really enjoyed that, and I just kind of wanted to do a bit more arty kind of thing, so I did a fast-track fashion course with the Australian Institute of Fashion Design when I was in year 12, like on weekends, and that was really fun and kind of got just the basics of sewing, a little bit of pattern making, just a bit of theory about the industry. And then so when I finished year 12, I applied for fine arts at QT, but I didn't get in, so that was a bit disappointing. But so I just did Bachelor of Creative Industries, and with the contacts my mum had from her costume design business, machinists and fabric supplies and whatnot, I started designing. And
Do you think that the fact that your mum's come from like a background of costume, that's had influence on your own designs and your own aesthetics?
I don't think it's had on my actual aesthetic, I don't think so, but I think it has influenced direction I've gone like to actually do design as a career.
Who at the moment is out there that inspires you? Like, what are the designers that you really look up to in the industry?
Designers. Some designers I'm just like, wow, like their aesthetic's totally different. For example, like colour aesthetic. Like, I think like if you look at the Soot store and you look at a store that has her clothing in it, they're totally different, but like I look at her stuff and I'm like, wow, that's so creative, like digital prints, like things like that, like I can kind of see like it's more like inspired by their creativity and like maybe what their inspirations are and things like that.
What's the community like in Brisbane of young emerging designers? Is it supportive?
Yeah, it is really supportive, and I also think it's like pretty exciting because like Brisbane is a pretty small place and there's obviously not heaps happening, so with like people bring out new collection and stuff, it is really exciting and pretty supportive and stuff because everyone's kind of looking for something new and fresh.
You're currently studying, you're in is it your first year?
Yeah, I'm in my first year of fine arts and I've already covered a few units from the creative industries degree.
Yeah.
Year I did of that degree.
Of course. And so what first started Soot?
Actually, it was a friend of my mum's who knew mum had been, doing a lot of costumes and stuff like that, and knew that I was interested in the fashion thing, was like, oh, I'm just having this little, like, it's not like a market, but just like, they all had, like, one lady had, like, perfume, another one had, like, bags, like, they all kind of had things, and they had, like, a little day kind of thing. They're like, you should put some clothes in, like, I know you've got heaps of cool ideas, blah, blah, blah. So I just got a few samples made up, like, didn't have production done at all, just had a few samples. People came along, and they're like, oh, I really like that, and I was like, well, I can do that in your size, in a 10 or whatever, and get it to you in 2 weeks. And so, like, I think I got something like 12 orders or something, which is like really little, and then I went and like got them done and then like packaged them in little boxes and like drove over to their house and delivered it to them. Like that was kind of like the first thing. And then after that, like I got approached by, like I set up a website and stuff, got approached by a few stores, and I've been stocked in a few places. At the moment though, I'm stocked here, Isabel and Sebastian at South Bank, and a store in Melbourne.
Do you see yourself being a label in a store, or would you prefer to have your own concepts?
I don't know. I like being in a store with other designers as well, because then I don't know, it's kind of cool then if they buy your stuff over someone else's stuff, but they like your stuff better. But I don't know. As long as it's the right kind of store, I'm happy with that. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
When did this store open?
This store opened in April, so yeah, it's been open a few months. Yeah, my family's really supportive and helped me when I have uni, and if I'm really sleep deprived or something, will come work so I can have a little sleep before I come work or something like that. Like they're helping me out heaps. I wouldn't be able to do it with that.
What's sort of in the near future set for you? Is there anything exciting coming up?
Not really anything planned. Like I just had MBFF and that was kind of like the highlight for me for what I'd been really working towards and whatnot. But yeah, nothing really planned at the moment. Just I guess high summer's coming soon, so that like the stuff that's in store now is the spring summer 11-12, and then we've got high summer coming in about November, so hopefully get a few orders and whatnot from stores. So just kind of pushing that and just hoping that the response that I got, because that's what I showed at MBFF, the response that I got from that actually, you know, turns into sales.
So that was high summer, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, personally saw it and it was beautiful. So that's going to be hitting stores November?
Yeah.
Cool. And tell me a little bit about Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. So what, like the show that you were in and yeah.
It was really good actually, because it was just kind of, I had to just do the design the collection, get all that done, and there wasn't too much else involved for me. Like they kind of took it from there. Like I had to go to the model fit and make sure that all the clothes looked right in the model's emerging designer show.
Yeah.
And it was with other labels like a boy named Roy. So he was a year above me at uni. He's not doing it anymore, but yeah, he was in the show. I think a girl who's third year at the moment was in the show. So yeah, it was a lot of really, really different stuff as well. Like nothing looked anything alike. It was all really, really.
What was your vibe for that particular collection? Like what were the standout looks and your fabrics and that kind of stuff?
Well, I used one of the fabrics I got digitally printed a design that my friend Amy did for me. She's a fine arts visual arts student at QUT as well, and I'd seen some of her artwork before and I really, really loved it, and it looks quite simple, but if you look at it closely it's really quite intricate and detailed, and I really, really liked her stuff. So I was like, hey, do you think you could do a design for me? She drew up something, I loved it, and I got it digitally printed, and that's, I don't know, I read some reviews and stuff and people said it was like a futuristic snowflake. I was like, oh, I didn't really see it as that, so I guess that's kind of, you know, everyone's different interpretation of what it was. But yeah, so I used that. I used, I had a knitted jumpsuit in there that my grandma's friend knitted. Took her like 40 hours or something, but it was a knitting pattern that my mum like had one exactly the same when she was like a child. A lot of blue, white, yeah, I used lace as well, which I haven't used before. White, the tweed fabric had like a greeny kind of blue, and then a little bit of black with the digital print and a bit of leather as well. So it was a lot of things, but I think that I kind of put them all in together okay. Like I don't think it was too like, oh, there's that and how does that go together. I think it all kind of linked pretty well. So yeah, I was really happy that I could put all those ideas into one collection.
Jewelry, from what I remember, what was that?
Yeah.
Did you design that?
No, I didn't design that. That's I actually stocked that jewelry in the store. It's called Barnett, and it's two young sisters. They're 19 as well. They're based in London, or yeah, maybe they live in Hong Kong at the moment. But my mum stayed with them when she was in London. They were like, yeah, we do jewelry, blah, blah, and they just did those two pieces just for the show. I'm actually selling them now in the store though, which is cool. But yeah, they've got some really cool stuff, and they've done a few one-off things for the store and stuff. So it's kind of like a close connection there.
Finish up on sort of just asking what you see yourself sort of doing in the future. Obviously you've got this 2 years of uni left to go, but once that all finishes, what are your biggest and greatest dreams that you could possibly imagine?
I get asked that question a lot, and I really don't know how to respond to it, but I will try. I don't know, like, because like with uni and stuff, I do want to go, you know, do an exchange, things like that, you know, meet people that I wouldn't meet just in Brisbane kind of thing. So that's really hard because I don't know where that could go, and like internships and things like that, like such great experience. And but yeah, again, it is really hard with Soot, but I think that in a few years time, once I fit in stuff, and just I can focus so much more on the label then. It's not trying to juggle uni and Soot. So I'm hoping just, you know, get it out there further, you know, interstate, and hopefully can just progress and progress.
Do you have any time to be a kid? I mean, you're 19. Do you have any time to have fun and be young?
Yes, I do. I do sometimes, yeah. I fit it in.